Hey, you look like you're from Australia. Are you from? Where are you from?
Kent.
Oh, sorry, man. You're dressed like us Aussies. Us Aussies in a country dress.
You're an Aussie?
Yeah, I'm from Australia.
I keep getting mistaken for an Australian.
It's because of the hat, buddy, and you dress warm, like it's warm out, but it's not.
No, it was last week though, wasn't it?
Yeah, just yesterday, the day before.
Yeah. So are you involved with this?
Yeah, I am, brother. My name's James.
Yeah.
Who you are?
David.
David. Nice to meet you, David. Yeah, we're basically just showing people everything that happens to the animals before they become that neatly wrapped package on the supermarket shelf.
Yeah.
So we're trying to help people make the connection that if you think animal cruelty is wrong and you would never hurt an animal, you know, because you wouldn't want to harm an innocent being, then the logic should follow, in our opinion, that you should also not pay somebody else to do that for you. And that's what we're encouraging here, for people to stop purchasing animal products because we believe it's so far out of alignment with good-natured, kind, compassionate people. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a big problem. And how do you feed people, you know, without, you know, if you stopped all this sort of thing, you know, what's the alternative? What do people eat? You know,
good question. That's exactly what I wondered. I thought, what am I going to eat for the rest of my life? Just lettuce and tofu?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I thought I'd have to eat. The beauty is, when you take out the animal products, you can still have pizza, you can have curries, you can even have ice cream and chocolate, you can have burritos, you can have just normal like fruit, veg, nuts, grains, seeds, legumes. Basically, every one of your favorite meals, spaghetti bolognese, nachos, anything, there's already a vegan version of it.
Oh, that's what you are, you're vegan.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So what that means is we don't eat animals, we don't wear them, we don't use them as far as practically possible.
Yeah.
We just leave them. And so that's what I thought. What am I going to eat?
Yeah. You see, you're looking at a couple of million years of evolution for what we are, omnivorous. And,
well, I'd argue that actually. I mean, we can eat animal products, just like we can smoke cigarettes, but it doesn't mean it's good for us. And in fact, it's actually better for us not to. Because think about it, we're not built like a carnivorous animal. Our teeth are side to side. They don't have big canines. These aren't going to rip into any animals. Neither are our claws that don't exist. Our intestines are very long, so passing meat through takes a very long time as it breaks down and rots. We don't look at animals and get hungry. We look at them and think they look cute. We don't watch slaughterhouse footage and salivate. We watch it and feel disgusted. So that's like nature telling us, you know, we don't eat it raw. We wouldn't even think about eating it raw. We have to season it with plants. And so I think we may have had to eat animals to survive back in the day. But today, we have literally millions of delicious vegan recipes at our disposal. Just a quick Google search, Google vegan recipes for breakfast, there's millions. You know, you can have oats, you can have smoothies, you can have cereal, you can have avocado or tomato on toast, you can have even things like scrambled tofu, which is like scrambled eggs, but it's just made from tofu. You wouldn't even notice the difference.
The logic goes to eggs as well, does it?
Yeah, it does.
But the trouble with it's like eggs, they're used a lot in ordinary cooking, aren't they? But soufflés, things like that.
Absolutely, they're using
all
cakes.
Of that is out.
No, it's not out. It's not out. Instead of using eggs, we have substitutes. So you can use, actually, most of the time it's just to bind it. So you can use half a banana, which does the same job. You can use, what else can we, like flax seeds, like ground flax seeds with a little bit of water, and that produces like a similar sort of consistency as an egg. So you can still have all your favorite foods. That's what I'm saying. There's already just ways of doing it without the egg. Instead of having cow's milk, you can choose the soy milk or the rice milk, the coconut milk, the hazelnut milk. You know, that we don't need the cow's milk. And because the reason why we don't have eggs or dairy is because those industries are at least as cruel as the meat industry. In the dairy industry, they forcibly impregnate cows. They steal her babies from her after she's given birth. They kill the baby boys by slitting their throat after shooting them in the head because they'll never produce milk, they're male. And this is just little babies, man.
How do you, me and the wife have just had cod and chips for dinner. So
Had a what? Cod and chips, yep.
How do you look at that?
How do I look at it?
What's your philosophy when it comes to fish? Is it the same?
It is the same. In my opinion, the only difference really is that they live in the ocean. There's a lot of misconceptions about fish, that they're unintelligent, that they don't feel pain, but actually they are quite intelligent in many different ways. Not that I think we should base our morals on whether someone on their level of intelligence, but they are. And they also do feel pain. In fact, when they're hooked through the mouth, it's, you know, they can't be 100%, but they're quite confident in saying that because it's such a sensitive area of their mouth, they could feel pain even more acutely than humans. Yeah. So how do I feel about it when you tell me that? I think that poor fish, he or she didn't need to die.
The net that brings them up,
yeah,
in the sea.
Which often when they pull them up fast like that, it bursts their internal organs, it bursts their eyeballs, like it's horrific, mate. And then if it doesn't and they come out of the water, they suffocate to death over 5, 10, 15 minutes. So it's very cruel. And the thing is, I'm not saying you're a cruel person. I don't think that. That's why I'm talking to you. You're probably a good person. But we've been taught in this world to do very cruel things.
A lot of what you're saying, you know, I'm already aware of all of those things. And you've had people like Jamie Oliver,
yeah,
and what's the other one? The chap down in Dorset, Fernie Whittingstall, who've done a lot of campaigning, and they've altered, you know, battery chickens, for instance. They've made it less cruel.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, what you people are suggesting is so radical that I can't honestly see it. I know where your logic's coming from.
And I know where yours is coming from too. I'll tell you about that. I used to think the same thing, man. A lot of people think that about vegans, but what's so radical about instead of buying cow's milk, just buying soy milk or almond milk, same supermarket, that's all you've got to do. What's so radical about instead of eating meat for dinner, like say you have a curry, instead of having chicken curry, you have a potato and pea curry. You know what I mean? Well, it's really very not radical. It's actually very just basic. And what I think is radical now is how most people live. Because what most people are doing is saying that they love animals or that they're against animal cruelty, and yet then they go and pay people to mutilate and torture and murder animals. That's what's radical, I think.
The psychology of people is that you shut down it's like all the terrorism that's gone on.
Yeah.
You know, initially people are shocked and horrified by it, but when it keeps occurring so often, human mind sort of just blanks it out.
Absolutely, it's called.
It's the same when you have your turkey at Christmas. You're not thinking about, just like you're showing us on these films, you know. People just shut their minds off to it. But what I'm saying is, you people are trying to stop a massive vehicle from rolling down the slope that's unstoppable, actually.
Yeah.
I
hear what you're saying. I disagree, though. I think they would have said the same thing about slavery, and they stopped it. They would have said the same thing about inequality between men and women, and they changed it. You know, when we see an injustice, we do something about it, and it may take time. But the difference is that we have full control over this because you are the only one that can control what you put inside of your mouth, and I'm the only one that can control what I put inside of my mouth. So it's up to us, not saying, hey, stop this and stop that and stop being cruel and make this world a better place. First thing we should do is look at our own actions. Where are we causing the most harm? By far, by a long, long way, unless you're a person that's involved in some very shady things, by far the most harm that any of us cause in our day-to-day activities is the abuse and the killing and the use in general of these innocent animals. And so that's the beauty of it. It's a huge train rolling down a steep hill.
Just look at McDonald's without anyone else, you know, and not just McDonald's. It's the money involved. It's
the advertising, it's the lies. I know, there's a lot. But they said the same thing. Oh, it's a big job. Don't think I don't understand that. But you know where it starts, mate? With you and with me making different choices. That's our obligation as good people of this world, and it's a very simple, there's nothing you can do that's so easy to change. Getting a different milk, the soy milk instead of the cow's milk. Or looking up a vegan recipe, it takes 5 seconds. There's nothing so easy that you could do that could reduce so much suffering and increase so much peace. And if I help one person go vegan today, and then that person helps someone and that person helps someone, and that person might help 20 million. I've got a speech online, it's got 11 million views in 6 months. This is a pressing issue. This is something that people are interested in, and I know that a lot of people don't seem like they are because they just eat the food like they don't even think about it. That's what I did for 26 years. So I know that if I can change and make a difference, anybody can. And I just think if we truly do want to try to make this world a better place, you know, how can we call out terrorists when we are actually terrorizing animals?
Yeah.
We're not terrorizing anybody else, but there's this one thing that almost everyone's doing that is horrifically cruel and violent and unjust.
Hang on a minute. You know, the wife and I,
Yeah.
we're great ones for nature, wildlife, so on. We watch Spring Watch. I don't know if you're aware of these programs.
I got an idea, yeah.
Well,
Like David
the
Attenborough.
sparrowhawk, the goshawk, all the owls,
Yeah.
you know, they're predatory animals.
Sure.
I mean, we've had a sparrowhawk on our lawn, on top of the starling, and actually, you know, my wife actually filmed it, and it was plucking the starling whilst it was still alive. Now this goes
That's
on.
nature, yeah.
This is what I'm trying
Lions,
to say.
lots of animals, but
Our Ice Age ancestors, they actually lured mammoths
Sure.
over the cliffs.
Sure.
You know, because that provided them, and that's what it all comes down to on this planet.
but it doesn't
One thing
come down.
eats the next
No,
thing.
not now though.
Don't get me wrong, I admire you people, what you're trying to do. What I'm trying to say is meat eating is built into us. And the reason for it is that a cow in a field spends hours upon hours digesting this grass. And what it's doing is a concentrated form of energy when you eat meat,
Yeah.
it's what you call that?
Protein?
Protein, that's it.
Yeah.
So our ancestors, they needed protein
To
Just
survive,
like an
to
athlete,
survive.
If you watch the Olympics,
Yeah.
they're on protein diets because
Not necessarily, but yeah.
hunter-gatherers would need a lot of energy to pursue their prey.
Do you think right now that we can't get protein from other sources, that we are obligated to kill animals because that's our only source of protein?
Before you go on much further, for economic reasons, my wife and I don't eat a lot of meat.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it's expensive.
That's economics.
Yeah.
Because it's more expensive.
Absolutely.
But we survive on, say, salads and
Beans.
and baked beans.
I just think-
we got 3 chickens that lay eggs, so we have the eggs.
Yeah.
But every time I have an egg, I don't think of, am I being cruel to this chicken?
Well, maybe that's something you'll start considering. I'll tell you about those chickens in a second. Back to the lions and the sparrow that you mentioned. Sparrowhawk. They have to kill animals to survive.
Yeah.
And I would,
The whole of nature is all about that.
Well, except
Let's
for
be
us,
honest.
because we're not a part of that. Look at your camera. Look at the footage we're showing. We have separated
when you
from
take an apple from a tree, are you being cruel to the tree?
No,
Some people go
I'll
that.
explain why. Because a tree is not a sentient being. If you pull an apple off a tree, another one will grow back. If you pull a leg off a lamb, that lamb will probably die, and that lamb will feel pain and suffer, unlike a plant. So there's a difference there. When it comes to lions, they have to kill to survive. I get that, but we're not killing for survival. I haven't eaten any animal products for nearly 4 years. People now are killing for greed. They like the taste, but it's not even, like you said, it's not even conscious. They're not really killing because they've never thought about it. Should I be paying people to kill animals so I can eat them? For 8 years I was a personal trainer. I thought we had to eat meat to survive. Man, now I realize we are healthier without it. We're not stuck in that nature, in that circle of life. We've separated. We have an abundance of foods available to us, literally thousands, that don't involve mutilating and torturing and killing animals. And all I'm saying is this: when we have that option, when we can choose foods that are equally delicious, so we can still have burgers, burritos, whatever, but vegan ones without the cruelty and the killing. And it's literally as easy as going to a supermarket and there's cow's milk here and you just move your hand over and get the soy milk. Isn't that just the most logical choice to make, you know, because we are against cruelty. And if you put yourself in their shoes, wouldn't you just be begging that that's what people would do? That simple shift at the supermarket, you know, to reduce all that harm.
In the soy
Maybe I should get some, because I do this a lot.
No,
I don't, man.
You're preaching to the converted, really. I mean, I know, because me and my wife, we have very little meat products anyway, so I can't even have Marmite for health reasons.
Yeah. And I guess I would just say there, brother, just a quick point on what you said is that a little bit of meat is a little bit of needless cruelty and killing.
Now, be honest with me.
Yeah, I will.
If you walk past a transport cafe or anywhere, say in this city, and you smell a bacon sandwich, does that appeal to you?
I still don't think it's overly disgusting. I think about it differently now, but some non-vegan foods, I still think, oh, that smells good or that looks good. But regardless of how much I might desire it, which isn't much at all, but let's say I desired it a lot, that desire for me to have a 5-minute palate pleasure doesn't outweigh the necessity I think we have, or the obligation we have to be respectful to each other. Just like you've probably got some money in your pocket. I love money. I can buy all these nice things, but I'm not going to kill you and steal your wallet just so I can have money. Similarly, I'm not going to kill an animal and take their body parts just so I can have a nice taste in my mouth when I don't have to. Yeah. All right, man. Really nice. Nice to talk to you as well.
And I admire you people for going to these lengths. I just hope that you get a result. You influence someone.
Thanks, brother.
I think you need a bigger bandstand, a television program or something.
Well, we're working on it. We're working on it. Let me leave you with one thing. It's just a card, it's got a website on it, it's got recipes, it's got health, it's got information, everything you need.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate the chat. Thank you very much, man. Take care, have a nice day.
Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.